Yeah, Slavon's drinking an energy drink because we are bringing the energy tonight, boys. How you doing, bro?
I am doing outstanding. Ready for this fucking season to be over with. Excited for the Super Bowl matchup, but I am, overlooking way ahead, looking for the draft. I've been doing some scouting today. I'm excited. It's gonna be good next. It's gonna be fun season coming up.
Yeah, but we want to pay our respects and give proper recognition and support to the Super Bowl. One thing that did bother me very much was Dallin and his whole I got to see these dev things speed up these AFC Championship games. Like, dude, back it up. Be a fan of the game a little bit. Appreciate the teams that have gone a long way. Don't just try to rush us through the playoffs. If we're come on, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's that's what I mean. We play 17 games to reach the playoffs, and then we don't want to kind of overlook that part of the game, which is for some people, is the most fun and the most exciting part of the game. So yeah, most definitely, I agree with you. Um, did you know that you could play the Pro Bowl on the thing?
No, no,
I
that
had
was
no
hilarious
idea.
when all
Yeah,
you guys started playing that shit.
I had no idea, and everybody acted like they knew. Maybe this is from previous madness because we've never done it. I don't think anybody's ever played a Pro Bowl game since we've been in a league.
I know. We got to spend some time there next time. Oh, and we got Jarrell in the chat. One thing we got to mention, congratulations to our boy Jarrell getting married. Shout out to
Yep,
Jarrell. What a beast.
cuffed up, off the market, ladies.
Beautiful wedding. Those pictures were awesome. The one picture, though, of him and his groomsmen, they did him so dirty, being so tall. They're all just
Yeah, that's messed
and
up.
he's in the middle. Oh, this is a tough pick. As a fellow short guy, I can relate, Jarrell. Don't worry, bro.
Yeah, as I'm not short. I'm clearly well
You're
above
shorter
that.
than I am, dude.
Dude, they don't know that. Not everybody knows that. You didn't have to call me out like that. No, but yeah, those pictures were beautiful. You guys are a beautiful couple. Congratulations. And then next time we have a DNVR trip, just like last time, we get to add another couple to the. Oops, we get to add another couple to the
Be
dinners.
professional.
I
Be
know.
professional, dude.
I'm sorry.
Silence the devices.
Jesus, it's reminding me to do my push-ups. By the way, that's what that was.
Speaking of, dude,
Yep.
I think today is day 100 because yesterday was day 100 for me. I hit 10,000 push-ups for the year so far. So you're gonna hit 10,000 today. So round of
Yep.
applause to us.
Yeah, 50. Yeah, 50 away from the 10,000. This is probably the longest New Year's resolution thing I've done in my life.
It's a
Have you
good
had?
one, bro.
I mean, I know you're a big athlete, fitness guy. You did a lot of cool shit last year, including Ironman, and I know you had big streak of working out and running and doing that healthy shit. So probably not as big for you, but hey, 10,000 push-ups, 10,000 push-ups. Okay.
Well, my whole thing this year has been every single month I add a new habit. And just having it be a fresh month helps me stay on top of it. Quick sidebar though. Drill, are you trolling me? Congrats on making the Super Bowl. I lost. So if you're trolling me, that's fucked up.
I don't think he's trolling you. I think he had so much confidence in you, Will, that he assumed that you won the Super Bowl. I mean, he won the AFC Championship and went to the Super Bowl. Uh, but yeah,
But so I
LOL,
started with 100
lost.
push-ups. February, Cynthia and we started doing 20 squats a day.
Ooh,
So I've been
okay.
doing that ever since February 1st. March, we started reading 15 minutes per day. So that's another great one. Haven't missed a day of that. Haven't missed a day of any of those three. And then April, I couldn't add any more daily things, but now every Saturday we clean one room in our house, or either we'll do the bathrooms, we'll do the living rooms, we'll do my office and her office. We'll clean every Saturday for an hour. So if anybody is trying to pick up a new habit, starting it at the first day of the month is great. You guys got to make it. Don't make it too hard where you feel oh, I got to do this shit. Just like 15 minutes of reading. It's easy. Knock it out. Done.
No, that's a great advice, and I'm so proud of you guys, man. That's awesome. I was what was I gonna say? Something came up in my mind when you start talking about. Oh, I was gonna say. I think we've talked about it before, but you should definitely just do that 75 hard, man. I feel like you'd knock it out of the park.
Yeah, but also it's a little. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. The two 45-minute workouts a day is like almost just too inconvenient. It's like I don't want to work out two separate times, you know? I think that's one of them.
Yes, one inside, one outside, which I feel
Yeah,
like would be perfect for you because you run a lot. That would be your outside workout, and then you just got to knock out inside workout.
that's a lot. That's a big time commitment. Oh, I will hit you up, Scott, for book recommendations. I have a long list that I still need to get through, but I appreciate that. I definitely will.
All right. Well, covered some cool achievements, mostly by you. But
Mostly Jarrell. Jarrell had the big one.
yes, that's true. That's true. Congrats to one more time to Joel. All right, so I guess we can move on to let's go over these playoff games, man. We had our final eight, NFC final four. I'm sorry, NFC championships get knocked out, and we see. I guess we knew as after Jason won that we were gonna have a repeater of Super Bowl. Yep, because 3 out of 4 were already previous champions. So it comes down to uh Broncos and Falcons. So let's go in order because Falcons and not Lions.
Yeah, Falcons
Yeah,
Lions. Yeah.
Lions played first. Did you watch this game?
I did. It feels like a long time ago. I think I
It
missed
does.
like the first 5 minutes of this game, and by the time I tuned in, I think it was 14-0 Lions, and I was like, "Holy shit, Edge! Like this might happen here." And then it was 14-7. Then I think it was 21-7, and then the Falcons clamped up. The Lions didn't score again. The Lions had two bad interceptions. One, or he put them both on the game. I think one he had some gripe with the game. Another one was kind of his fault.
One,
Um,
yeah, the
yeah,
one that you're talking about was a crazy overthrow by the quarterback who was not really running or being under pressure. The circle was probably like about the circle where the pass is supposed to go. That circle was probably about 10 to 15 yards off where ball actually landed. So that
yeah.
one's a crazy huge overthrow. You never expect a quarterback to do that. The other one, like you said, not as much. It was another overthrow, but I think that's the one when he overthrew in the middle, just totally flew over his receiver's head and just kind of landed in Falcons defensive player's lap. But maybe I'm thinking of a different game. I
No,
might be.
you're right. No, you're right.
I was right, right?
He
Okay.
it was Jaron Hall. He was kind of sprinting up in the pocket. He had Max Crosby right in his face, so he was definitely under pressure. It would have been a hard throw to make if he was standing in the pocket totally clean. I liked the read, but it was still a tough throw to make. And under pressure, you're going to sail that pretty
Yeah.
much every time. And yeah, Falcons were waiting for it.
Yeah. It's crazy because the score, the end score was 25-21 for Falcons. But if you just watch like half and half, if you watch the first half, you would be like, oh yeah, Lions are winning this easy. But then if you watch the second half only, you're like Falcons probably dominate the whole game. It was definitely a tale of two halves. And going into the half, Detroit was up 21-10, but they just gave up a touchdown, and Jason got the ball back right away in the second half. So doubled up on a score there, going into fourth quarter, 21-16. And then what was Jason's last score? It's 9 points. He got a safety, right? No,
I think he got three,
no, you got a
and then I
safety.
think
He got a
he
safety.
did.
I'm
He
pretty sure
did.
he got a safety. Yeah, because I think I think he scored a touchdown. And Jarrell, not Jarrell. Let me see. Does it say if there's safety here? No, unfortunately, it does not. Somebody tell us in the comments if I'm fucked up because I swear he got a safety.
Well, he had two field goals.
Oh, you know what? We can go to defensive stats and see if somebody because it shows if somebody had a safety.
I thought he got three and didn't,
Yeah, no
and
safety.
then he got a touchdown and did not get the 2 point conversion. I think that might be what happened, and that's how we got nine.
That sounds more correct. Yeah, because there's no safety in the game, so I'm fucked up.
Jarrell, we got a listener question right here. How do you run commit in Madden? Levon, you got this? Do you know how?
Oh shit! You know what? I do know how, but I don't know how without.
RB and then down.
RB and
RB
down.
or down is run up the middle, right is run right, and left
Yeah,
is run left
exactly.
with
So
the
RB,
right stick.
yeah, RB gives you the options to commit either middle, left, or right. Uh, it's
Or guess pass.
it's yes, it's a dangerous game to play though. Especially around commit because everybody just abandons their every all 11 players abandon their positions and just run at the line of scrimmage towards the quarterback, or if you tell them right or left, respectively, on the side that you tell them to. So it's a if you know for sure, like if you're down and you need like a stop on a 4th and 1, and they're doing like a fullback dive or something like that. Yeah, that's when I would use it. But it's not really like, oh, I think he's gonna run here. It's 7-7, 7-7. You call it run commit for sure not. But good
Yeah,
question.
use it wisely.
Yeah, is it?
You'll get burned way more often than not, and it's not like it's an auto stop anyway. I've seen people break off runs on
That is true.
against
Yeah.
run commits too.
Yeah, and then it doesn't. It's if it's a play action, there's been times where the quarterback still has plenty of time. No, not really. There's I think to stop quarterback sneak, from my experience, you just have to have that not the goal line, but I believe it's 5 D line formation, and you just pinch the line, and you gotta have like right players in there. You have to have like those big fat fucks down right in the middle, and then you pinch the line and and then I think it's LB down is the one when they uh
Pinch.
pinch, yeah. And that's like there's no really a specific way like glitch to do it. It's just sometimes it works.
No, I think some people know the trick to stop it. I
Really?
feel like Alex has stopped me multiple times. Jarrell, I'll tell you this: if you want to stop the QB sneak, hit up
Hmm.
Alex. Go to Alex's school of Madden. That's
He's
like
not. He's not gonna
chapter
tell
3 of
it.
his
He's
textbook.
not gonna tell his division rival how to stop the QB sneak.
Hey, he's a nice guy.
He's a very nice guy. I won't. I won't tell you how to do it. You know what? I don't want to burn arcade right before the Super Bowl. I learned something how to do something, and I'll tell you after the Super Bowl's over.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. I'm always ready to learn something. Always can improve the game.
Mm-hmm. All
What
right.
else from this Falcons Lions game? I think there was one touchdown in the second half that I remember that Falcons just kind of chucked it up, probably like 30 yards out in the middle of the end zone, and he got a pretty lucky catch in the middle.
Ooh,
Do you
tight
remember
end
that?
over the middle. Yep. Kind of a. It was a high throw, but he was definitely going. He flew over at least like 2 or 3 defenders, and then even when that happens, sometimes you expect that oh yeah, he's gonna hit because tight end jumped very high to grab that ball, and usually you're thinking like, oh yeah, he's gonna come down, get hit, probably gonna drop that. Comes out untouched, just lands in the back of the end zone. Touchdown, kind of like seals the game right there. So yeah, that's a great call there.
I feel like there's a few different uses for like Jason is one of the few people that uses the high pass um, timely and strategically. There are other people that just overuse it because they think it's the meta to use a high ball, like,
Mm-hmm.
and they kind of just like they overuse it. But I think as Jason kind of has the wherewithal as a play is unfolding to know, like, oh, I need to throw a high ball here, and he does it, and that's probably why he got that touchdown. It probably would have been picked otherwise.
Yeah. I
What
didn't think that was a good read. 9 times out of 10 that bull's probably picked, but you know, at that point I think was Jason up by 3.
he was
Uh,
down.
no, he was down by 3, right? Whatever. I guess. Yeah, I don't like that play call in that position specifically. It's too tight of a game to throw over the middle in the end zone where the defense is so condensed. Like there's not they can cover. There's not much ground to cover. Everybody's kind of everywhere. So, but it worked out for him. And back to the Super Bowl. Oh, all right, man. Well, let's open up some wounds. I feel like you've healed by now, and let's cover this Broncos Patriots game. It's so funny, man. I think we talked about it right after this game. This game went down in a very similar fashion as the Raiders Broncos game in a divisional round. I mean, even the score, you scored 27, I scored 28 against RK, but just the way the first half went, it was almost identical. You want to talk
Mhm.
us through what
Yeah,
happened?
I mean, I held him to 3 to start the game, just like you did. I went down. I got that touchdown to Alec Pierce. I'm up 7-3. I'm feeling really good. But it felt like every time I was in control and about to make a play, Jamar Chase was getting behind Joey Porter. I think it happened twice in man and once in zone. And I'm telling you, bro, I've been saying it all season. This Madden has been deja vu from last Madden. And it was 1 year ago, pretty much to the day, taking us back to last Easter when I played against Dan in the playoffs and he torched JC Horn with Tyreek Hill 3 times, knocked me out of the playoffs. Jamar Chase torches Joey Porter 3 times and knocks me out of the playoffs.
Yep. And let's, I mean, absurd amount of type of stats for Jamar Chase. 4 receptions for 168 and 3 touchdowns. 42 per reception. 2 yards after the catch. Like
I know, yeah.
He got all of them in the end zone. So and that's kind of what happened to me in against RK2. I thought I had him contained in the middle of the field well in the first half. I think I forced him 2 field goals, had an interception. He played well on the defensive side against me, but kind of like you, just Jamar Chase. Every time he got in trouble in a long downs, he was away from the first down sticks. He just let Jamar Chase get under the ball and burn me for a touchdown. Now, I mean, I was watching your game. I was watching the stream, and I was watching. Was it Brina and Edge who commentated? I think those two, yeah. And man, they were calling it out. I feel like my critique to you, and I'm sure you rewatched the game, you probably saw it too. I feel like you went to pass too often in the first half. You kind of like figured out in the second half. You picked up a lot of yards rushing in the second half, but he was a little too late. He kind of had figured out that Jamar Chase had Porter's number, and he was like, every time I'm in trouble, I know I can go to Jamar Chase. But do you think if you went to the run a little more often in the first half, you would have had a little more success or chance at least?
Yeah, I mean, I think RK was kind of ready for everything I was doing on defense. It felt like a lot of my bread and butter plays, RK knew they were my bread and butter plays, and he had them locked up. I remember people in the stream comments saying everything was clamped up on that play, like on some key plays. I think if there was one turning point in that game, there was that 4th and short in my own territory. Alec Pierce gets open. I hit him and he drops the ball. Very next play, Jamar Chase touchdown. Like that was, I think that made it 17-7.
Yeah.
At the time, and I just knew I was up against it after that. Yeah.
No, it was the second half, early second half, maybe. I remember watching that play. I'll be honest, I didn't love it. Because I feel like it's hard to kind of like restrain yourself in those situations because you've seen yourself make those plays so many times. You're like, oh, Alec Pierce got a quick shed. He has that step on a defender. I can throw this right at his knees and he's gonna conservatively catch it. I do think he had so much time in the pocket that you were a little premature with the throw. And only critique I would have is that you gotta have one outlet running shallow routes. It's such a short yard. If you waited a half a second, maybe ETN was gonna. I think ETN was about to leak out and have a wide open. Because he had. I think he was not a 4 verts, but he was a PA crossers type of play, right? Yeah,
it actually was 4 verts.
Oh, he was okay. So he had all those guys. He manned you up, so all those guys kind of like got pulled away, and ETN was about to burn that guy coming out of the backfield. So that's the only thing. But it's so hard, man, because you've seen yourself make that play so many times. Like, oh yeah, he's gonna catch this. And Alec Pierce. Did you let him know? By the way, I know you were hitting him up on the IG.
Yes. I let all of them know, dude. I let all of them know that we lost. I was like, we lost because you didn't respond, you motherfuckers. And all my DMs was like, filled with blue check marks, and it's just like sent, 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 sent. None of them even opened it. The disrespect. I got one player to respond one time in my whole Madden career. It was Mike Wright, who was that obscure Vanderbilt quarterback, if you remember. He's the perfect level of fame for me to like still verify, but he'll actually see my message and respond. I need some more obscure guys like on the roster to be able to hit up and get responses.
Yeah, I'm gonna be hitting up a lot of the guys from my the guys I draft, because those are college guys, right? I mean, I feel
those
like
guys are probably like 18, 19 years old right now,
yeah,
especially when this draft class.
for sure. Yeah, I thought about hitting up Jigba, but he's too Hollywood already. Yeah,
Yeah,
first round
definitely.
project. Yeah, he's out of there. All right, man. Well, anything you want to say? Maybe something you saw that might be a weakness for the Broncos going into the Super Bowl and the Falcons.
I'll say this to put a bow on. We'll talk about let's wait for the Super Bowl, and we'll talk about the Super Bowl after the next segment that we want to do. So we'll wait because I got some things for Jason and some things for RK in that matchup.
Okay.
But just to put a bow on this game, I don't think I've ever seen RK play better defense than he played against me. He was ready for a lot of things. He was sending me some of his notes after the game that he had watched some stuff and he knew some things were coming. And I was like, shit, yeah, that is definitely something. So if I could get ahead of myself a little bit, I'd say, Jason, have some wrinkles to stuff that you do a lot, because RK will be ready for the things that you like to do. And as far as the Patriots go, I didn't play a very good game. I took some bad sacks at bad times, but also I think some of my players just did not show up for me. Like we talked about Joey Porter, that guy's got 99 man coverage and he got burned badly multiple times. And the Pierce drop, like we talked about, like a lot of my guys were selling. I'm not totally putting it on them. I'm taking the blame for myself too, but bad game for the Pats, great game for the Broncos, dude. And that 64-yard field goal by Badgley at the end of the first half, dude.
Twice.
Yeah.
He kicked 2 60-plus yarders. That was insane, and that changed the game a lot, because I think you just got a field goal, and you were about to get the ball back going into the half, and RK just gets 30 yards, kicks a field goal, easy. Just negates all that work you did right before the half. That was tough, yeah, for sure. I'm trying to see how long the other one was. Kicking. Let's see.
You can only see the long.
Five field goals made. Longest was a 64. Yep.
That was such a backbreaker. But now, shout out to RK, a rivalry that is really kind of finally turning into a rivalry. I was 3-0 against RK to start my Madden career, and he's gotten me the last 2 times.
Yeah, tough one. All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap that segment up. Great games. It was a fun games. Shout out to all the guys who came out to watch, commentate, participate in the Jock Chat. Was very live in your stream too. And I had both of them up. I had audio of Brina's up, and I was watching your game without audio, but it was cool because obviously when you're commentating, you're like a play ahead. So I would see your play, and then while your pick plays for the next play, I would come over and make my comments in a not the podcast, but broadcast. So that was a fun experience. All right. Well, I guess we can move on to Super Bowl matchup.
Well, before we get there.
Yeah, what you got?
You talked about commentators. We've seen a lot of commentating these playoffs. Brina and Edge did my game. I know Brina and Scott did Jets Browns earlier in the playoffs. I think we did a playoff game. We did the Falcons Cowboys.
Yep.
So now that we have this tool and it is working, it seems to be pretty reliable, which is great. We finally got there. I wanted to talk to you about some hypothetical commentator duos that we would like to see in the league. So I think we can just go back and forth throwing a couple out there. Do you have any in mind?
I have one in mind, and this is kind of a cheating, and I feel like this is kind of a not so deep dive pick. I feel like Arcane Zach would be so fucking awesome to watch them commentate a game. Just live commentating on a broadcast. That would be awesome to watch. We're all big fans of the boys, so to suck them away from their busy lives and kind of like pump them into the broadcast booth would be awesome to see. That's my first pick for sure.
That's a great first pick, and I've got another one that feels a little obvious, but I'm going to go there. We'll start there. Um, I'd love to see Joke and Christian in the booth just commentating a game in
Yep.
broken English. Like we've seen Joke do it with kind of a group that he didn't have great chemistry with,
Yeah.
but like I want to see him with Christian, like one of his boys. And Christian's got a beautiful voice, man. He's Swedish, but he's got the British accent. I would love to see them together, and they both love Madden. Like they get it. They love Madden. I would love to see a
Yeah.
booth of those two.
That's a good one for sure. All right. Well, next one that I want to see, and this is kind of like the person I'm gonna say probably could go with anybody just because he's so cool with everybody in the league. That's our boy Stevie with another like a Stevie and Jarrell maybe would be a cool combo. Just
Jarrell doesn't have a mic or a camera. I feel like Jarrell, you can't like.
am I giving too much? I feel like I know that he'd be cool on the mic though. It's
He
like
would, yeah.
yeah, I have a feeling about that. So uh, but mostly we've seen Stevie do commentating before, right? I mean, we've had on a pod.
Yeah, me and him did
Dude,
a
dude
Super
has
Bowl.
yeah, dude has all types of Madden knowledge, and he can talk. He can talk, and he's a sweet talker too. So I'd definitely like to see him with somebody. Who's next? Who's next? A good one.
I've got another obvious one. Like I guess they're not obvious. They just make sense to me. I need these guys to learn up a little bit more about the different players in like the different users in the league and the different teams before they do it. But let's get the Coeur d'Alene guys together, Stu and Einhorn in the
Yeah,
booth. Like they
yeah.
love each other already. They'd be great.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. That yeah, I mean we've made that comp so many times between them two, and us two. Um, what about JJ and
Phil?
Phil? I was gonna say they're. I didn't want to say Brina again. So and we've heard from Adam a lot of times. That we know he's good on Mike too. But yeah, Phil is a good pick. Two good dudes, man. And honestly, every time I play against Phil all the time, and I played with JJ couple of times to see this new Madden already too. So, and both of the dudes are they're just great to talk to, man. In a party chat, just chopping it up. So yeah, I'd love to hear those two in a booth together too. That'd be a cool one.
Let me bring back Stevie. I think Stevie and uh, I know we saw Scott and Brina go, but I
Yeah.
think I think Scott and Stevie would be a great
Oh,
conversation. Stevie's the weed guy, Scott's the coffee guy. There's no better combination than weed and coffee. Let me tell you, dude. I think those two together would be awesome.
yep. I'd love to hear those two also. And then I think the last one I'll say is, and Alex already showed how good he is in the booth. He's got the cam now. We get to see him. We get to watch him. He's got the what you call it, anchorman mustache going. He's got the tangibles, right? I'd like to see him in there with Lou. I'd like to hear from more
Ooh,
Lou.
I love
Yeah,
that one.
yeah. Lou has we've gave him so much credit over the last few months in the chat. He's always like he has the highest approval rating in the league. So for him to get on the booth and the mic with somebody cool like Alex, I'd love to see that.
All right. I'd like to also see Timmy and Dan together, a couple Europeans, guys with great
Mm,
chemistry, close friends. Adam and Derek, another obvious one that I would like to
yep.
see. Um, I was thinking Mike and Brennan, Valaha and Saints Brennan. I feel like they'd just be watching a game and people would be like making reads that they've never made before, and they'd just be in awe. They'd be
Oh
like, "I didn't know you could do this."
yeah, Mike's done a good job in the booth, so I see that. And then Brennan is I just played Brennan like week 18 or something like that. So he's a good dude. I love talking to him too. So yeah, some great ones, man. I mean, obviously there's more combinations out there, but those are the ones that
Castro and Edge, two guys that would just the entire time be like relating it to their team. Like I feel like when I watched my game back, Edge like was talking about his team so much in his game, and that's all Castro does. Like Castro
yeah,
makes everything about the Browns. So I think there would be a funny combination for that.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Who's the perfect co-host for Brina?
I mean, probably, I'd say probably Adam, right? Or you think You think he needs somebody not as compatible with him, somebody a little more less agreeable? Because I feel like they're so close. I guess we are close too, and that works out. Um,
What about Brina and Logan, the old duos team?
ooh,
I
that's a
think
good
I would
one.
listen to that.
Yeah, I would definitely listen to that too. Yeah, I like it.
Guys who don't have a partner, Jason, who would be a good co-host for
Ooh, what
Jason?
about Zach and Lou, the
Zach
BFF?
and Lou. Yes, that would
That'd
be
be
a
a
great one.
fun one. Uh,
It would
that'd
just
be
be
a
like
real-
Lou the whole time being like, "Yeah, this is the Eagles. Stu is the user. I know you don't know that." Like,
yeah. Stooping to our level, Zach.
hmm,
That'd be great. Oh, cool. Yeah, that was a fun. That was a fun little exercise.
yeah, it was. Dallin and Caleb, the old commissioners.
I don't think I've ever heard Dallin's voice.
What? Really?
Nah, that's a lie. I mean, I
Yeah, that's definitely
probably,
a lie.
yeah, that's dumb. I just can't remember his voice for some reason.
He's got a very
I don't think.
calming, kind
Yeah,
voice.
yeah. I haven't played in a long time, and then you know, it's not like we out here dropping voice memos. I guess some of us do.
God, and I just went to check the chat, and it's just like Dallin and Castro fighting with each other. Come on, guys, be better.
No, I don't mind a little fighting sometimes. Although I feel like every time Cash was fighting, I'm just whoever he's fighting on their side. I'm just like whatever Cash just says is probably wrong. All right. All right, man. So should we talk what we came here to talk for?
Yes, sir. Super
Talk
Bowl.
SB. What is this? SB. Which Super Bowl is this? Do we know? 59.
Ooh,
Damn. 9 years removed from Broncos are 9 years removed from a Super Bowl, man. That's crazy.
it is.
9 years. That's a long time. All right. So before we make our picks, anything I mean, you wanted to say you had some wrinkles and stuff like that you want to talk about for both teams. So
Well, let's take it back to Week 16, the last time these guys played, and the only time Denver, the Broncos, RK, have lost this year. Falcons were able to hold them to 21 points. Just an amazing defensive performance by the Falcons. Falcons outgained the Broncos 380 to 330. Broncos had 6 rushing yards, which isn't very uncommon. But one key thing I'm seeing here, the third down efficiency for the Broncos, they were 3 for 9, which is well below their season average. So the Falcons were getting it done on third down. And I think it comes back to something we've been talking about all year. Like, you don't know what you're looking at when you're looking at the Falcons defense and their secondary, because I don't want to, we don't want to be a broken record, but he draws up some crazy shit.
yeah, for sure. And Max Crosby, I mean, he was going off with 2 sacks, and then Jack Campbell from the middle linebacker position, he came down, got a sack too. So 3 sacks, that means he had, because we've talked about this before. RK's so good at avoiding sacks and avoiding losing yards, and he's always like head of the sticks. So to get him behind the line of scrimmage 3 times, probably a bit, he obviously had him in bad situations there. 2 interceptions, obviously. You mentioned it, and then forced fumble too. Max Crosby, another forced fumble.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So 3 turnovers total, and that was enough. That was enough for the Broncos to fold there. Is that kind of like a threshold? Like you gotta force 3 turnovers or more to beat the Broncos? Because I think I had 2 interceptions against the Broncos, and I think you had, how many interceptions did you have against them?
I think I only had one.
No, one. So I mean, from one loss that came so far from this Denver Broncos, he turned the ball over 3 times. So that might be the key to the game. Obviously, any turnovers is good, but um, it's gonna be tough for Jason to keep him, scoring the whole game. And he's such a dynamic offense that he can dice you up, move down slow. I mean, he never runs the ball, but he could run the ball. I mean, he had a lot of success running the ball against you in the second half. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I doubt he's gonna do that. He's probably gonna stay true to his strength, which is the passing the ball. But the fact that he's not really a just one trick pony is makes him such a dangerous opponent. Um, but the good news for the Falcons is that defensive backfield, right, is probably one of the best ones to be matched up against this offense. I mean, they got all the talent they need, and let me call out some of the defensive backs they have. So they got Marlon Humphrey, 98 overall, Tre'Davious White, 98 overall, and Marshawn Lattimore, 97 overall.
Wow.
Two X
I didn't even
factor
realize it was that
position.
good.
Yeah. I mean, guys got speed. The slowest receiver is corner is a 92, and then they all have 95 or better acceleration, so they cover the ground when they get beat. They're all 6 foot 5'11", 6 foot, so none of them are short. Arcade's not gonna have the size advantage. And then backfield, even safety positions, he has Andre Cisco, another X factor, 93 speed, 94 overall, and then Adrian Amos, 89 overall. Just we're talking about absolute stacked defensive back, and I think that was a big part of his success against RK early later into the regular season. They're gonna have to come out and play again for sure, and they're gonna have to carry that load on their defensive side. And
And just and great storylines in this game too. Both of these teams these are big legacy games for both Jason and RK. RK has said how important it is for him to have a Super Bowl in every Madden. He's still searching for that Super Bowl in this Madden, and this would be number 7. He would pass the 6 that Jordan has and get his Super Bowl in this Madden. And then for Jason,
oh Lord,
joining the group of guys with 2. We got a lot of guys in the chat that have 1 trophy next to their name: Dallin, Timmy, Logan. But when you got 2, I think it carries a little, that's definitely a step. Like Alex and me, there's definitely a difference between the group with 1 and the group with 2. So for Jason to join that group, it would be very impressive.
Yeah, for sure. And definitely he took such a big step from last Madden. He was always a competitive guy, but just go from a competitive guy making the playoffs type of guy to just back-to-back Super Bowl trips and kind of on a dominant defense, but also very explosive offense, kind of do it all. Just just beautiful to see. Him go take that leap, getting better. So I'm I'm rooting for Jason. Obviously, you guys. I've been on Jason train for a long time now. It's no secret. So and Denver Broncos in the division. Obviously, we don't want to see him in Las Vegas. Nobody wants to see Denver win the Super Bowl. So definitely rooting for Jason, and it's just so comforting to know that if anybody was to make the Super Bowl for NFC, the best team made it to stop the Broncos, right? I mean, we're looking at the playoff bracket, and is there any? Would you say there's any other team that probably has a better shot against the Broncos than Falcons?
I don't think any team on the NFC side would have a fucking shot in hell to beat the
And
Broncos.
no disrespect to anybody, this Broncos is the same one that mopped me up, Will up. It was not really none of these games were really that close, especially going into the second half. So don't take it as disrespect, NFC guys, but I don't think Giants, Cardinals, Cowboys, Packers, Lions have I feel like if any of those teams make it, I feel like we pencil that Super Bowl in for our case. So I'm glad that Falcons made it. I'm glad the one team that hit them in the game, their first L, the only L of the regular season, made it. That way we can say that, hey, okay, this is not over. We can watch this game with hope and excitement.
That's so true. And do you think if the Falcons win this, I know a big theme of this podcast is we're wrong a lot.
Mm-hmm.
If we're 3 seasons into this and the NFC has 2 Super Bowls and the AFC only has 1, what do we do with that information? Have we been wrong about the the power differential between the AFC and the NFC, or is the NFC just a one-team conference and Jason is just carrying that conference completely? What do you think?
No, not completely. I do still think we've said it that top, top of NFC is just as good as top of AFC. I think we've said that before, and that's the truth. I think where you know the differential and shit talking comes from is middle pack of AFC. I think middle of the AFC is just a lot better than middle of the NFC. I think that's where the most of the shit talking coming from, because I mean, all these teams that went to the playoffs in the NFC side are just as good or better on the teams that went to AFC side. It's the teams that were left out of the AFC playoffs, 8, 9, 10 seeds versus NFC's 8, 9, 10 seeds. That's where the races get tight at the end, and then we kind of like also cannibalize ourselves in the divisions. I'm sure if you drop the Patriots into, let's see, AFC, NFC East, I feel like there would be more than 12 wins he had, 13 wins.
13, yep.
Yeah, I feel like add at least like 2 wins to that season. So,
Okay, so I know you said you're rooting for the Falcons. Are you going to put your stake in the ground? You're going to plant your Falcons flag and take them to win the Super Bowl? Give me your case.
yeah, for sure. Like, what am I gonna do now? I'm gonna back off of Falcons hype now that they've done it back to back. The Super Bowl, went to the Super Bowl back to back. No, absolutely not. I kind of already made a case for him that the defensive secondary is the best one to match up this Broncos offense. I was kind of hoping Ania Smith was gonna be hurt enough to miss this game, but
No, we
yeah,
want to see the Broncos at full strength.
that's true. That's true. Okay, you're right. Well, I was hoping for Jason's sake, but even with full strength, three corners, you have that three really good corners to match up with him. So it's all gonna come down to Jason's uh, offensive mistakes. I feel like we've seen him make some knucklehead throws, some knucklehead plays against the Lions, even against the Cardinals. They got a barely walked away with a win against the Cardinals in Arizona. So I want to see him to really kind of like lock in, do whatever ritual you gotta do. You cannot afford a turnover in this against the Denver Broncos. They're just gonna steamroll over all over you if you give him the ball one or two times. You just can't. You have to play a clean game. I think that's the road to the Falcons' victory. Play clean game, and just know that just because you're up going into the first half, or just because you think you've played a really good game against the Broncos in the first half, the second half is gonna be a total different game. And we saw that Broncos do that against the Raiders in the past. They kind of like turned up a notch in the second half, defensively and offensively. It was just like shifting into second gear. I never saw it coming. So that's my advice to the two Falcons for that. But yeah, I'm flag big.
Planted.
Yeah, Stevie's probably talking shit somewhere, calling me a dick rider. But yeah, Jason all the way. Go Birds. Caw.
All right, and I got to take the Broncos, bro, because I've been on this all season. Like I said, it's deja vu Madden. RK got the third Super Bowl last Madden. He's getting the third Super Bowl this Madden. He had the juggernaut with Nick Chubb last Madden. He's got the juggernaut with Herbert and this offense, these weapons. But he passed the biggest test for me last week. Anais Smith went out in the first half. That's a guy who had 46 touchdowns on his team, and they didn't miss a beat, dude. They literally did not miss a beat. And when I saw that firsthand, when I was the one that was getting slapped around by this Broncos, I was like, this is fucking legit, dude. And I don't think there's anything stopping this team this year. The Falcons got them once. I don't see it happening. Lightning will not strike twice. I think the Broncos are going to win the Super Bowl.
Yep. The interesting thing is that Broncos were 15 of 27 just passing, right? 55% completion percentage. Because I was looking at the receiving yards, I was like, who replaced Aeneas Smith? Nobody really. He just spread the ball around a little more. I mean, everybody. The highest receptions was four for Chase, Tyler Brees Hall 4-4. But other than that, before Aeneas Smith went out, he had 3 receptions for 46 yards, and then Jelani Woods 2 catches, Cortland Sutton 2 catches. So outside of the Jamar Chase 4 bombs for 3 for touchdown, there was not much going on passing wise. So again, when it comes to this matchup with the Falcons defensive backs, it's gonna be an interesting one to see. It's gonna be a chess match.
I cannot wait, dude. I'm gonna be on the edge of my seat watching this game. I hope that Levon Jr. doesn't come too soon, so that we can commentate this game and bring the energy tomorrow night.
Yeah, for sure. That would be fun. If not, though, we just talked about so many good fun hosts that we could have. I replace me, please. I'd like to see some fun matchups in the booth, even if it has to be 2 guys.
And next regular season too. Like, stay ready, boys. There's going to be a lot of opportunities to commentate.
For sure.
You got anything for the boys before we get out of here?
I think that wraps it up, right? Nobody cares about PSN League. I know that's what you're looking at.
Yeah, it just popped up on my phone. Yeah, fucking Castro told me he drafted some guy in the PSN League. I could not measure how little I care, dude.
Yeah, just put Mike Tomlin fucking meme. We do not care.
We do not care. Yeah,
we do not care. All right, bro. Well, we talked about some playoff games, covered some fun broadcast duos, talked about Super Bowl matchup, made our picks. I think that covers it all. Did we miss anything that we were supposed to talk about?
Let's give a quick shout out to Edge on a great season. Knocked off the 2 seed, the 1 seed, and then almost knocked off the defending champ. Amazing playoff run by Edge.
Yeah, I think I said this right after the game, but what a run for sure. And then we doubted him all the way through. So yeah, good call. Yeah. Good call. 7th seed all the way to NFC Championship for sure. All right, man. Well, if that wraps it up, good talking to you. We'll see. Hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow in the booth covering the big game. If not, we'll see you on the other side, baby.
Adios.